If it's not obvious,
My wife.
I broke my arm.
The message was, never mind, go ahead.
What?
Nah, because I don't want to turn it into that type of podcast.
But, like, are we going to get into it or not?
Welcome back to another episode of Where's My Coffee podcast. I'm Perris.
I'm Georgia, and this is episode 17.
Episode 17. We took a little break.
Why do we take a break, Perris?
So, ladies and gentlemen.
If it's not obvious,
My wife.
I broke my arm. I broke my elbow. Well, my arm. Same, but different.
Yeah, same, different. Fractured
my radial head.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, the radial head is positioned right at the joint of the elbow. So it's right at the head. So basically, I have very limited mobility, aka I can straighten my arm at a 110-degree angle currently.
Got it.
Yeah.
You sure it's 110?
Yeah. Because if you think like 90,
Right.
180, I'm at like a 110.
So how was 110 before 90?
Because I'm extension is 180, and I'm at my flexion is probably at like 30.
Right. So if this is 90,
the angle goes from my wrist to my shoulder.
wrist to your shoulder.
That's
right.
my elbow. Wrist to your
wrist
shoulder.
to shoulder. Yeah. That's a 90-degree angle.
Correct.
Your arm's at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah.
If anywhere before that is less than 90
you're
degrees.
Flexing right now. I'm talking about extending.
You can't even.
I said my flexion is at a 30-degree angle. My extension is at 110.
110. Got it. When you said 110, you were like this. So that's why I was like confused.
Well, yeah, because that's 110.
Yeah, you were like that.
Oh,
like,
I don't know.
You had your hand up. Anyway.
Semantics.
Let me paint a picture for you guys.
No. I did the damage.
Okay.
Let me tell you
Got
how
it.
it went. And then you can tell your opinion. I was humbled very quickly that I'm now 30 years old and I cannot be doing the things I used to be doing as a teenager, as a little girl, blah, 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 blah. So I was finishing up a workout and we were hanging around afterwards. Mind you, it was cardio, so fatigue set in, but there was still adrenaline. And I was with a friend and we were doing a little kind of like, can we still do it sort of situation. We did it last year and then it came around for 2025 to try it again. And it's an aerial, which is a no-handed cartwheel. I attempted it 3 times, to which I put my arm down at the last minute every single time. And by the time we got to the 4th time, I put my arm down thinking I was not really going to get it, but I thought I was going to get it. And my arm was just a little bit closer to the ground than I thought. And I touched and I hyperextended the crap out of my elbow. I heard crunching. I was like, ooh, that's not good. But I was in such adrenaline that I kind of just sat down and kept talking with everyone, not really knowing what happened. But I was like, surely that's fine. Like, surely I just overstretched it and it's all good. Fast forward a little bit, I'm making my way back home and the pain is kicking in and I'm realizing, I've really did a bad one on this. So got to the parking the car and I called Perris in hysterics. I'm like, Perris, like crying. And I was like, I literally cannot move. Like, I've hurt myself. You need to come downstairs and carry my stuff and help me upstairs. And yeah, we were going to go to urgent care that night, but I was convinced I would be okay. But we ended up going to urgent care the next day for an x-ray. To find that I fractured the bone.
Yeah, fractured your joint, fractured your arm. Man, I don't even think.
Sorry to traumatize you with that phone call. That's all I can say.
It wouldn't have been the first.
Because I was at the studio for a little bit before I came home. So the class is 45 minutes. Oh, no, actually, this class was an hour. I would say this class was about an hour. And, oh my gosh, I don't have 2 hands. Hold up. This class was an hour. And so for me, normally I would be home. I think should have been home at like 6:40. No, 6:10.
6:10.
And I didn't get home till like 6:30, 6:40. So you already were like why isn't she home yet?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell you?
I do want to tell my side.
Not your
of the
side.
story.
It's just what was going through your head.
Well, my perspective from
What was
my
going
lens.
through your head in the moment?
Not even what was going through my head in the moment yet. I want to start from the beginning. We had a conversation. Mind you guys, this was my birthday weekend. This happened on Friday.
His birthday was Sunday.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was super excited. I just gotten off work early that day. And I was like, great. I have the rest of the weekend. Sunday is my birthday. Sunday is the Grammys, which we'll touch up on later. And yeah, man. Yeah. So she goes out to the gym and she's like, I should be back home by like 6:10. So I said, cool. When she returns, I think we had plans to watch Love Island. We had plans to make dinner, together, all this stuff. You know what I mean? And while she's at the gym, I'm like, oh, I'll hop on the game, hop on the PS5, play some Days Gone. Then I look at my clock and it's like 6:20.
Yeah.
And then I look at her location of where she's at. And I'm like, oh, she's still at the gym. Mind you, this happens before. Sometimes she'll hang out.
I've got friends there now. And we hang and we chat. And
exactly.
I don't rush to get home, which is normal.
Yeah, no, it is normal. And that's why I didn't really think anything of it. But then 6:40 comes around and I'm like, she's not back home yet. And right when I had that thought, you call me. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. She's calling me to tell me she's on her way. I answer the phone. She's crying. Now, mind you, there was a situation that happened earlier in the year where same scenario, and that too was traumatic. Don't you agree? You call me crying and you had some bad news.
Oh, yes.
So that immediately put me back
PTSD.
in that state of mind. I'm like, what could possibly have happened from the time she left to the time she calls?
Right.
And she says, Perris, I hurt myself. Can you come down and help me out the car? And I'm like, wait a minute. What? What do you mean you hurt you? What happened? Like, I want to, like, what is going, you know what I mean? I'm stuck. I'm like, how did she hurt herself? Like, what? I'm thinking that you've gotten into an accident and you're like, I'm downstairs. I just parked. Can you come help me out the car? And I'm like, okay, all right. I rush off the phone, get my stuff on. And on my way to our elevator, I'm thinking, wait a minute. She's playing a trick on me.
When you told me this, I was like, there's absolutely like no way that you think, tell the story, but I'll continue after. Sorry. I jumped the gun a little bit.
Because a couple years ago on my birthday weekend, she left. She said she was going to a meeting or a showing or something like that.
Showing at home.
At 7 p.m. And she came back and my mom and sister walked through the door. So it was a great surprise. So I'm like, what are the odds the same thing happened? Hence, her not being back. Well, hence you not being back the time that you said you were. And it was closer to 7 o'clock.
Yep.
So in my mind, I'm like, oh, my sister and my mom might be in the car.
And you really thought I would have that hysterical crying performance.
So again, my mind works very fast in these type moments. I felt
so bad that that's what went through your head.
She always plays pranks on me on the phone, and through time, she's gotten better with being believable. You know, so
all those acting auditions where I'm on the other end have paid
you know what I
off.
mean. And I thought for a split second, I thought that was one of the situations. I thought this was that same situation. So I go out to the car and I'm getting close to the car, but I don't see any other silhouettes in the car. You know, I just see her and I'm like,
oh no,
she's hurt. Okay, what's going on? So I go on the side to her side, driver's side. I open the door. She's sobbing and I see her arm just like
frozen,
just like limb on her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Georgia, what happened?
I had no strength, but it had to stay bent. That was the weirdest thing about it, is like I was driving home with one arm, and I wanted to try and use it because I was just like so confused with how it could be that painful. And my adrenaline was wearing off as I was driving home. So like the more and more I was there, I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't do anything. It's just limp. My fingers couldn't grip anything. And I was like, crap. And the longer and longer I drove, we're like 0.8 of a mile from where I was. I just had to keep it still in like a 90-degree angle.
Yeah. So I'm like, babe, what happened? And she goes, I hurt my arm really, really bad. And I say, how?
I didn't want to tell him.
This is what you said, and I think it's because of what you said and how you said me and the girls were horsing around or horse playing.
Those words have never come out of my mouth. I would have said mucking around or messing around.
You said horse playing.
I don't even know what that means.
That means
horse playing?
Yeah.
I've never said those words before in my life.
Okay, well I translated that. Well, you might have said mucking around.
Yeah, I probably said mucking around.
So I translated it to horse playing.
Yeah.
And I go,
doing what?
What? Like, what do you mean horse playing, quote unquote? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do? Like, what? And she says, we were doing aerial flips. And I go, oh. Like.
He's so red.
Guys, like, I was so confused because I'm like, that was not on my bingo card. I was fighting with myself because I'm like, I have to be her nurturement right now. I have to be soft. I have to be there for her in this moment. But I was also fighting on the side of, what are you doing aerial flips at 30 years old?
Okay, but mind you, last year I did it no problem.
That's why, and mind you, she's not telling me that she has never shared. This is and that's the thing.
And
too.
I didn't share it last time because I didn't. I was like, cool, whatever. Thank you. Next.
I had no clue. Now, mind you, we have an active history. We're dancers. Well, she's a trained dancer. I did breakdancing back in the day. I also flipped and things like that, like her. The last time I attempted a backflip was probably last year on a trampoline. You know what I mean? I'm not continuously just doing backflips because I know my knees, like you guys know, my knees ain't the same. I'm just not youthful like I used to be.
Yeah.
So honestly, that's what was kind of.
I think what really annoys me is that if we hadn't, because it was a high rocks training, and I know I've spoken about high rocks a lot here. It was a very intense training session, so I was fatigued, but I had adrenaline.
See, and that was the thing too.
And fatigue and adrenaline, thinking you can conquer the world and do an aerial is not. It's just not it.
There was a couple of things that kind of made it worse for me hearing it and made me kind of, I get disappointed. This is the first time that I felt disappointed towards my wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just was like, why? Like, this was so, you could have avoided. Hold on.
Okay.
Real quick. I just want to land my plane.
Okay.
She said that she did it after a workout. So she's fatigued, like she just mentioned. There's one thing I know about my wife. My wife is daring. There's a couple of things I know. My wife has a little sprinkles of show off in her. And my wife, if she's not satisfied, she's going to keep doing it until, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And when she said that she did it, mind you, she only told me she did it twice that night.
Because you were already so, like, the energy you were giving me, I could not tell you that I had attempted it 4 times.
Guys, I was having trouble that night. And she was having even more trouble because she was just in pain, you know.
And that's where I want to come in. So, okay, mind you, I am all here for a reaction to be disappointed in my actions, doing something I shouldn't be doing at my age. I completely agree and accept that truth. However, the last thing I needed to hear and receive was that energy, because I was in so much pain that all I needed was comfort, support, and how can I help? And I did not. I got it in spurts, but you kept, like, it kept coming out of the disappointment energy kept coming, and I was just like, help me.
Yeah. And I was talking to somebody about this too. Like, I like getting women's perspective. I love getting my wife's perspective, but I also feel like the women friends I do have, I do ask them, you know, I guess for advice in the sense of how can I better respond to my wife, or what are some things that I may not be seeing that you can equip me with so that I can, you know what I mean? So this situation I did bring up to Autumn, because she did ask, how did she break her arm? So I told her, and I said, I was really struggling with being what she needed me to be in that moment versus just childhood. I don't want to use the word trauma, but childhood experience, how I was raised. If I told her, I said, if I went out, broke my arm doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing, I got tough love. And that's what I knew.
Yeah.
So when you came back home with a broken arm doing aerial flips that I at the time I didn't know you were practicing or doing I reverted back to that mindset of, oh no, you need tough love in this moment, because there's a lesson to be learned.
I'm too old to be learning those lessons. I learned my lesson the moment I hurt myself.
Right.
It's different with this age. You know what I mean? Like if I was younger, yes, the lessons learned afterwards. But the moment I heard those crunches, the lesson was learned.
Yeah. I mean, we're never too old to learn.
Yeah, true.
But I understand from it was a learning experience for me, because then I do have to swallow my pride, because my wife she's in agony. Yeah. Like she doesn't need to give her tough love or a speech of why this was so dumb. You know what I mean? No,
I'm in so much pain. I'm hearing nothing.
Yeah.
Like literally, like it was just like white noise, and all I was feeling was energy, and your energy was not giving.
Oh, and that was the thing too. It wasn't confirmed that your arm was broken yet.
No, at that point, yeah, and that was the other thing. I'm very dramatic. As people say, I don't agree, but people say that I'm very dramatic with how I respond to pain. I think I actually hold pain very well, personally. I might be dramatic, but I have a high pain tolerance.
And that's kind of what we spoke about, not to cut you off, but after the dust settled, like a week later, we were talking about it, and I said, honestly, in that moment too, we didn't know your arm was broke, so I just thought that
I was being dramatic.
I thought you did hurt your arm.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that's happened before. But and I said, if people don't know you like me or your parents do, we know sometimes you can put some sauce on things. So I thought you was adding a little sauce on it. So then when we got up to the house and you were saying, I was like, all right, well, what are we doing?
I was shaking. Like I had just worked out. So I needed to shower because I was all sweaty. Yeah. I was literally shaking because of the pain. Like my body just started convulsing, and I was like, this isn't good. He's like, we're going to the hospital.
Well, I was asking.
Let me figure it out. Surely, like I was in denial that I was in that much pain and that I had done something wrong. So I was like, let's just sleep it off. Let me take some ibuprofen and try and go to bed. But the problem was I couldn't lie horizontal. Like the pain of like the angle just like couldn't happen. So I literally had to sleep at a 90-degree angle with the pillows like literally up against the wall. I woke up in the morning and I was like, it's not any better. I was like, we've got to go to urgent care.
Yeah.
So I went to urgent care, got an x-ray. They told me, well, actually, funnily enough, they told me.
Whoa. You're moving way too fast. I still got some. We haven't potted in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're so right.
I was just saying, like, you were like, no, I was like, all right, what are we doing? Because in this moment, I'm freaking out. Like, I'm also dealing with being high stress, because I'm like, what do I need to do right now? I'm asking you, do we need to go to the hospital? And you're like, no. I'm like, okay, if we're not going to the hospital, then all right, well, you need to buck up. We need, are we going to wrap this thing? Like, what are we going to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? And that was wrong of me to tell her in that moment too. I was just so like confused because again, I didn't know her arm was broke. I just thought she just banged it up because she was doing flips. You know what I mean? But the next morning we got
the x-ray. Funnily enough, the urgent care actually said it was the head of my ulna, which is funny because that's a different bone. There's two bones in your forearm. At first they said the ulna, and they just had too much fluid to really see what was going on. But then the next day, was it? Or 2 days later? I forget. But basically, long story short, as we all know, insurance is very confusing here.
Yeah.
We personally had just switched our insurance, not knowing like who to go to, where to go to, because our provider did change. So I was navigating that as well.
Yeah.
And this was also the first time we've ever had to like do anything.
Yeah.
So we're with Kaiser, and to my knowledge now that I know, they're very in-house. So you stay with everything Kaiser, which is fine, but we didn't know that at first.
Yeah, we didn't.
So we kept going to places that they said that they were covering it, but they weren't really covering the full extent of me getting the care I needed.
Yeah.
So it kept pushing back like literally everything I did. So when I thought I was getting a proper x-ray, no, I was just seeing a primary care physician. When I thought I was getting an MRI, no, I was just seeing an orthopedic. So every step just kept getting delayed. So I didn't get my MRI till the end of the second week, which was Friday.
Yeah, it was.
Today is Monday.
Yeah.
So I just got it 3 days ago. I got my results back today. And yeah, I do have bone fragments in my elbow. I've strained I strained a ligament, and my bicep is affected.
Your bone marrow is swollen too.
My bone marrow is swollen, which they say that when your bone marrow looks like that in an MRI, it's likely because there's a fracture, which is the case. So I also broke a bone. So I broke a bone. I have bone fragments. I have a strained ligament.
A fracture is just a crack, right? I always thought fracture and breakage was two different things.
No, a fracture is the technical term for a bone break.
Okay. Wow. I never broke bones before.
Yeah. So, yeah, I beat it up pretty good. And so here we are. I am officially pulling out of High Rocks, which I'm so upset about because that's in 10 weeks and there's no way I'm going to be able to recover in time. They're saying that 8 weeks until I can even try and lift a weight on my left arm. So we all know that's not happening. And then just getting back into workout is probably about 10 weeks too. So I would say the mental frustration and intensity of it, I'm still processing in how to deal with it, stay active, and not lose the momentum and like consistency that I had gained and had like done so well.
Yeah, for sure.
Upsetting.
It's all right. You'll get through it. You're strong.
I just hope I don't need surgery. That's the overlying.
Yeah.
Because bone fragments can mean surgery if the pain doesn't go away and you can't straighten your arm.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. But that's where we're at today.
Yeah, that's where we're at. You got this.
I got this.
I'm here to support.
It's good old Sling holding me in good.
No tough love.
I can officially not take any pain meds anymore, which is so good.
Them pain meds was knocking her out.
Oh my God, I got so dizzy. I literally felt like I was high.
Yeah. And that was one of the reasons why we didn't want to record too. Because if she was on meds, she would have been
I was loopy. Literally for, I would
then
say a whole week, I was very loopy. Yeah. I wasn't driving. But now I'm back. I feel better. It's just inconvenient, really.
Yeah.
Kind of embarrassing too, having to go see my clients with a freaking sling. It's kind of embarrassing. I have to like slowly put in like what happened to like lighten the mood so they're not like, what the hell happened to her? Like, I just put it in there to make
doing flips.
I was doing things I shouldn't be doing. I hyperextended my elbow. And anyway, so that's long story short. Long story long. That is why we had taken a break for the month.
Long story less long.
No, long story long.
Oh, even longer. Got it.
Yeah. That's why we took a break for a month.
Yeah.
But
wait,
we're back.
A month?
Yeah. We didn't film anything in February. I mean, anything in January. Oh, wait, that's a lie.
Yeah.
We filmed but we filmed one, and we're in the second. We're doing one for February, so we would have filmed 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so essentially a month.
Yeah.
But we're back.
Yeah,
we're ready to rumble. Editing might take a little bit slower of a process just because my fingers are moving, but they're not grooving.
Yeah.
That was really corny.
That's all good.
But yeah, other than that,
what
you got for us for this episode?
In other big news, I mean, it's passed, but the Super Bowl just passed. I think 2 weeks ago now, but it's still, a big story because of
the impact of the halftime show.
The impact of the halftime show, but also the fact that the Chiefs lost.
They sucked. They played very poorly.
They did not succeed.
I don't know football, but That was brutal.
Yeah, and they didn't get their three-peat. So
What does Pete mean?
Repeat, like or Pete,
it's
three-peat.
like
It's like a repeat.
Oh,
but
it's like an abbreviation.
So it's three-peat, meaning you got 3 back to back.
Yeah, but the Pete is repeat.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, copy that. I was gonna say, I'm probably like many others. I mostly am here. You're either here for the game, the ads, or the commercials, or the halftime show.
Yeah.
And I'm there for the halftime show.
Commercials weren't. Really
there was some good commercials. There was a real like woman power commercial that I really liked.
Okay.
I think Nike maybe was doing it.
Yeah, probably.
I think that was a cool one. Other than that, couldn't really tell you. But the halftime show, let's talk about it.
Yeah, the halftime show, Kendrick, Lamar, K-Dot, Kung Fu Kenny.
Okay.
Yeah, those are his.
No, I believe it.
Yeah.
I just didn't know.
Yeah, now you do. Performed the halftime show. And the big question surrounding was, well, I think there was 2 kind of questions surrounding it. Who's he going to bring out, if he's going to bring out, and will he perform the song? But yeah, just diving right in, I thought it was a good halftime show that became great afterwards. Because once I'm the type of person who loves to do research and loves to
deep dive,
watch deep dives and think pieces on gems and things or gems found in the art, of something. And Kendrick, he's just,
there was so many layers to the
so,
performance. Yeah. I was talking to my mom about it, and she literally was like, I cannot believe that America didn't turn off the casting of the show because of how many underlying, I guess you could say, like, they were political stances, and they were statements. They were visually, absolutely,
and but it wasn't so obvious, because there were some people online who did say, "Oh, I love the fact that he had the American flag in it."
No, but that's what I'm saying.
No, that's what I'm saying as well. So there were, if you caught it, you caught it. If you didn't, it was digestible for everybody in the sense of it did look American.
It did look
patriotic. It did look, you know what I mean?
But it wasn't.
No, it was. It was at the end of the day. I mean, if you want me to me, the message was, never mind. Go ahead.
What?
Nah, because I don't want to turn it into that type of podcast. But
like, are we gonna get into it or not?
Well, it just America being built off the backs of Black and brown people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And America is, look how Black America is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And how strong and powerful.
Yeah, and it just, that's, it was nothing trying to be a mockery or insulting, but it was just.
No, that's not what I mean.
No. What I'm just saying, that was kind of what it was representing as well. He took that mantle, took that stage to represent that, to show that, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it was American, but again, there were some hidden messages in there as well.
Yeah, well, those hidden messages, those messages, I'm surprised, and my mom too, are surprised that even though they were hidden, if you knew, you knew, as you said. Yeah. But they stood strong enough that it was like, wow, I actually can't believe that this is still being televised.
Yeah, the revolution there.
But it went over so many people's head.
Yeah, and right before he started, he said the revolution shall be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
Yeah,
and that there's
that kind of set the tone of like,
there's a triple meaning within that as well, because he had an agenda to, again, just dig a deeper grave for Drake.
Yeah,
in this
I
loss
think a lot of
and
people,
beef,
if you didn't get it. I think a lot of people would have just either not really understood it at all and thought it was boring, which there was a lot of people who were giving that opinion, which in my mind, I'm like, I don't really listen to rap. but I can appreciate the art and I can appreciate the layers that he created with his performance.
Yeah.
But then you also had the people that knew the Drake beef and then just thought, oh, this is all it's about.
Right.
Not knowing that actually there is another layer and there was more to it.
There's more to it.
And that's where, like, to me, the true gems were.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, the Drake beef, okay, cool, everyone knows. At this point, it's kind of just like a joke. Not a joke. That's the wrong word. At this point, it's just like...
That's how you perceive it because, again, like you just said, you don't listen to rap music.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're not even keeping up with the beef in all of its context and all that stuff. So, like, I know how you feel and how you perceive it is your perception of it.
Yeah.
So you're not wrong. I shouldn't have said, but it was super powerful. Yeah. Very powerful. And honestly,
SZA, for the Drake side, having SZA there, ex-girlfriend, Serena, also ex-girlfriend, right?
Serena's an ex-girlfriend. SZA?
I think he messed with her, no? Maybe not.
I thought it was a situationship. I didn't think it was an actual
they messed
relationship.
Around, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, but then also to double down with Serena's presence, she got so scrutinized for doing that exact crip walk. Crip walk.
Yeah.
When she won some tennis match.
Not some tennis match. What is it?
I don't know what tennis match. Was it Wimbledon?
Wimbledon.
It was Wimbledon. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She said some tennis match.
I just don't know the facts, but she won the Wimbledon.
Your mom knows because she loves
absolutely.
tennis. Yeah.
She got so scrutinized for doing that walk because it disrespectful. It was like out of character. It just like you do like. Yeah. So it was like a little stab at like I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Again, Kendrick provided that platform for her to do that on
national TV in front of so many people.
One of the biggest stages in America.
And
like, you know what I mean? She killed it. So even her being there was a triple entendre. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
one visual for me that I did miss watching it, but then once people were like dissecting it and giving reviews and like, did you see this? Did you see this? This is crazy. Was when they were all standing in the colors of the American flag. And he was standing in the middle, dividing the two, showing how divided America is right now. But then the Uncle Sam, who was played by Samuel Jackson, said get in line or something like that. And then they all started nodding their heads. And it was like, y'all are divided, but you're just going to nod your head and follow the crowd.
Yeah.
And do what you need to do to stay in line. And then they started marching down the stairs. It was just like... crazy. Someone who doesn't get it would look at that as like, oh wow, love it, American flag. Oh my gosh, yes, like they're part of the Navy, walk along.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's this, oh my god, it's crazy.
It was and that's why I say it was digestible for everybody.
At all different levels.
Yeah, based on how you looked at
it.
Like, you know what I mean? And I've watched this 5 times.
You were watching this morning. He goes, hey, it's
You said what?
You were watching this morning.
Oh yeah.
And you were just like, hey, are the Super Bowl performance on Netflix?
On Apple.
On Apple Music. And I was like,
You're
okay,
like,
cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was like, oh yeah, you okay. It just the more and more I watch it, I mean, and there are some also some things, some what do they call it?
New ones?
Easter eggs.
Oh, Easter eggs, yeah.
For the conspiracy, the hip hop conspiracy crowd too in there. But that's a whole nother.
I was about to say
topic.
I mean, it's
crazy. You know what I mean? So he had an agenda for you know, there's different things that he wanted to address and
utilizing
display.
The game as well, like Game Over, the game controller.
Game Over, yeah, the controller. Yo, speaking of, there was somebody who said the X square triangle circle. Of course, we know that's a PlayStation controller. But when it began, it was like dee doo 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 dee doo, and it was putting lights on the shapes.
Yep.
That was a GTA combination for unlimited life.
No way.
Yes.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yes. So that in the way he's unlimited life.
Holy crap,
Yeah.
that's sick.
I was like, oh snap. So at the end, because I heard that he wanted an actual controller, but they were like, that's too much.
Yeah,
like,
we can't do
so
it.
we can do
I
the
kind
buttons.
of like the idea of the buttons. That made
yeah.
it more like abstract.
Yeah, it was, so.
Okay, also, I don't know if you saw it because you've seen it a couple times.
Yeah.
There was a point, where they put the game over wording in the audience?
In the crowd, yeah.
There was another word that was flashed.
In the beginning, right?
In the beginning. Do you know what that word was?
It was,
I missed it. And then I was like, I should go back.
I thought it was just like...
We'll have to look at it.
Yeah, because I've read the word, but it was just
it wasn't really...
I thought it was like start or something like that.
Oh,
Or
okay,
something,
maybe.
Or
start, then game over?
Something.
Okay.
Yeah, something.
Okay.
But yeah, I loved They Not Like Us.
Yeah. How he teased it too. He's
Yeah.
like, I know this is the only song that every single person knows because it's mainstream. But
it's
he's
our
like,
favorite song.
yeah.
But we know
But he's
people
like, not
like
yet.
to sue.
Yes.
We also know
So
like
good.
people like to sue. And I just like how he teased it for sure. And then when he got into it, it just gave me chills. His
it's so
two-step,
good.
you know what I mean? Courtney keeps talking about keeps talking about the two-step. Mm-hmm. Like even where we were at, all the women were just like, oh my God, he's so adorable. He's just like, but it was like,
he was performing very well.
but I was like, yeah, guys, this is normal. This is what he does. You know what I mean? But it was dope to watch. Definitely dope to watch for sure.
Yeah. Either today or yesterday, your brother posted a video of Drake performing his Not Like Us at his own concert.
And that's
Have you
I
seen
don't
it
know. Because that didn't come up on my algorithm.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's like an AI type of thing.
It looked like a phone recording it. And there were a bunch of phones recording it.
Interesting.
You need to Google it. But to me, I was like, so what? You're now like, should you like sue yourself for the fact that you're performing this song?
Because does it deflate your defamation allegations?
I mean, absolutely. I think.
It doesn't help his case because it's like, well, if you're playing it, then you're cool with the song.
You're acknowledging the song and being okay with it being played.
Yeah. Because he put out a petition before the Super Bowl of, trying to get it
not played.
Mm-hmm. But, that wasn't successful. But he's in Australia right now.
Yes.
And his first show, he walked out with a black hoodie with like bullet holes in it.
Okay.
And steam coming out of it.
That's kind of cool. Creative.
Yo, not for nothing. I love Drake.
Yeah.
He's very creative.
Yeah.
So I love that when he does stuff like that because it's showmanship. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So
he just didn't win.
It kind of represented that he wasn't defeated.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he's even though he's being shot, he's still walking.
He survived.
He's still got a concert going. I mean, to know that the song that you're suing literally just won 5 Grammys, that's insane.
That is.
Like you're up against a lot right now.
He's up against the label. He's up against the executive. He's up against Kendrick. He's up against
surely I'm so curious how it goes because at the end of the day, it's just like I don't really follow like that whole rap beef too much. Obviously, I got involved or I was aware of it because of how mainstream it did get.
Yeah, I mean.
But my understanding is like when you do diss tracks, that's just it just is what it is and that's what it's there for.
And you shouldn't sue.
Right.
That's not hip-hop.
Otherwise, if that's the case, then like anyone doing a diss track has the right to sue.
Yeah.
And like they could win. Yeah. So like what are we doing?
So I get both sides.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Devil's advocate. We love to hear it.
I understand and I'm familiar with, hip hop beef being if you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. You take your L on the chin. You don't sue.
Sure.
Like that's not the fundamentals of war or the game. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I understand how someone like Drake could feel the need to sue.
Yeah.
Because if you're calling me a pedophile.
Yeah.
And now it's a whole world anthem.
Yeah.
You're defaming my character.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
So yeah, like I totally understand why, how it could drive someone to do something
absolutely.
like that.
What? Is Drake okay? Where is Drake? Has anyone seen him since this?
Well, like I said, he's in Australia. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Australia, Traitors Australia.
Yeah.
We just switched that up real quick, but we just finished season 2 of Traitors Australia.
Traitors Australia, yeah. Are we super fans at this point?
I think so.
Okay.
Absolutely. Love Island and Traitors, super fans, absolutely.
Yes.
But the Australian Traitors doesn't get kind of like celebrity faced people in the public like the American does. Like they get people from Big Brother, they get people from Selling Sunset and have a little bit of fame. The Australian version, they don't do that. They're just your average Joe kind of person.
Yeah.
So it kind of brings like a different energy to the seasons, I feel like, in comparison. But season 2 of Traitors Australia could have been the most frustrating and irritating faithfuls to watch. They were so stupid
and delusional
and so delusional and just like I just couldn't grasp what was going on because I'm like, how are you not seeing it? There was 2 people in the season that knew exactly what was going on, didn't listen to them, and instead banished both of them.
Yeah.
Like, are we stupid?
And I think they banished them back to back.
Yes. And they're the only ones that were actually speaking facts.
It was like the faithfuls had good leads and all agreed before the banishment table.
Yeah, but somehow the traitor, I forget,
Is
what
it
was his
banishment
name?
or banishment?
Banishment.
Before the round table.
Yeah.
Then they get to the round table.
And it would switch up.
And it was the traitor who was able to just sway everybody.
I don't know what magic juju he did, but he was able to switch people. There was one girl with really short hair, pixie cut, that like she was so stupid and she would flip so quickly. And then there was that old guy with the white hair that you would think he would know what's going on. He was a detective, like FBI detective, and like just had it so wrong, and they would flip last minute, and it was just so irritating. All that to say.
Definitely the most frustrating season.
Yeah, literally screaming at the TV.
Out of all the seasons.
And then, obviously, we don't want to spoil the ending, but the way that show ended literally made it all worth it.
Yeah.
So if you decide to watch season 2, Traitors Australia, just know that, yes, the faithfuls, you want to literally strangle every single one of them, except 2.
Yeah.
But it's worth it in the end for the results.
Definitely.
So just hold into it.
Yeah.
But this season, US Traitors, I mean, I like a lot of people, Chriselle and Gabby.
I love Chriselle.
They're my faves.
Yeah.
But this season is really good.
It's intense.
Tom is annoying. He's funny, but he's annoying.
Nah, I like Tom.
He has so many theories that are just so wrong. Except his most recent one, which we won't say just in case people aren't up to date. Because I don't know what number we're up to, but by the time we release this, there'll be one more episode out. And the last thing...
the same day we release this.
The last thing that just happened, the murder was done in the church, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
For people watching, you'll know.
Yep.
So we're at a good stage. They're coming to the end. I think they're recruiting right now.
Yeah.
We don't know who they've recruited yet, though.
We don't know.
So they're recruiting a third person currently. So that's exciting.
So it's Danielle and Christina?
No.
Caroline.
Caroline.
Yeah. Caroline or Carolyn?
Caroline.
Those are the 2
current
traitors right now. Was that a spoiler?
That might be a spoiler, but hey.
Sorry
if we spoiled that for you. But anyway.
I mean, you're going to find out if you watch it.
Well, no, it spoils who was banished.
No, it doesn't. Just don't say it.
Okay, yeah, true. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay, whatever.
I mean, in a way.
Spoilers. You'll forget anyway.
You should have been watching it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're watching that right now.
Yeah. I'm also watching a new show called Paradise that's on Hulu, starring Sterling K. Brown. Great show. If you haven't started that, it's another show to put on the list.
Yeah.
Are you watching anything other than our reality TV?
Nope. I still haven't finished Vampire Diaries. I have one season left. I have like a couple episodes and I just stopped because it started to get a little crazy.
Is that the same spot you stopped at last time? Mm-hmm. What do you mean crazy? What do you mean by crazy?
Like, you know when a series just gets like a little too, like, too much for the storyline, like a little abstract, a little too supernatural?
Got it.
That's what's happening. Like, I feel like it could have, like, this season didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
Now, I may not agree with that when I finish it and be like, oh, it was necessary, but where I'm at right now, it feels like a little bit of a, like, it's like stretched a little too long.
Got it.
But I will finish it eventually. Maybe one day.
Well, I'm glad we were able to make it back.
I know.
You know, I had some bumps and
I know. I'm
bruises
probably in
along the
this
way,
sling
for
for 8 weeks, maybe 10. We'll see how the healing goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't need surgery, but we're going to keep pumping out some more content. I want to be a little bit more active with us on social media. So definitely look out for that. But thank you so much for tuning in for this episode. Like, comment, subscribe.
Hope you haven't forgotten about us.
I know. We're still here. We're still thriving. Yep. We just had a little bit of a delay.
Definitely.
With reason. Rest and recovery is important.
Yes.
But yeah. Happy episode 17.
Definitely. Happy episode 17. See you guys next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Peace.